is the guy at CNN who, frankly, I don't think his name should be known, but by design, it is known. He's the guy who asks the most obnoxious questions from CNN of Donald Trump so that he can spar with Trump, because it's good for him. He's grown his own name out of all of this. So Acosta, the White House has said, you know what, we're taking away your lanyard, what they call the hard pass. We're not letting you in the White House briefings any longer. And Acosta and CNN have now filed a lawsuit, Fox News has joined in as well, against the White House. Let's talk first about the claim he's making against the White House.
The claim is that the White House is actually violating several provisions of the Constitution. First, he argues that the White House is violating the freedom of the press by denying him access to the White House. And second, they've argued that the White House is denying him a property interest, that is his press pass, without giving him a fair process before revoking it. And it ultimately says he wants what's called a temporary restraining order, the same thing you get against an act of violence. They want a temporary restraining order to make the White House restore his press pass.
Let's talk about the first of those two claims. Lay that out. If you're his lawyer, make the case.
As a general matter, the government doesn't have to let anyone into the White House, in particular, to be a reporter. They can't pick and choose which journalist get passes.
Why?
Based on the opinion and the views of that journalist.
Okay, right? So he can say it's a time and manner restriction.
And that's what the White House is saying. The White House is saying that there are about 50 other people who have CNN hard passes, but Acosta has accosted a reporter or an intern at the White House and has behaved in an inappropriate fashion. So the White House has let someone else come to the briefing room and not this one person.
And just so that our listeners understand, I know most folks know because it's been widely covered, at least by Fox, what happened was Acosta was continuing a follow-up question. The intern goes over to do her job and take the microphone away from him and give it to the next reporter, and he sort of, you could argue he slammed her hand down, or you could argue that he simply resisted her taking the microphone. I don't know that it makes a big difference. I think that's quibbling. But one way or another, it was clear to him, you've overstepped your bounds, and he was outside the booth. And she's trying to get the microphone. He won't let her, and the White House said, whether we like you or not, we don't want you here anymore because you don't follow our rules. Why can't the White House do that?
Well, if the reason was actually that they revoked his pass because he behaved inappropriately with the White House intern, as it were, that perhaps could be justified. But what CNN argues is that the reason given is not the real reason, that it's like a smokescreen, it's fake. And the actual reason why they revoked his pass is because Trump thinks CNN sucks and it's all fake news. So this is another case where the court's being asked to figure out the president's true motivation and not the reason given by official government statements.
But this is ridiculous, Professor. Professor Josh Blackman's our guest. The president should have the authority to conduct a White House press briefing in the manner he sees fit, or to choose not to. He doesn't have to do a White House press briefing anyway.
No, and exactly right. There's no obligation to even have a press briefing, and there's no obligation to give any particular news outlet passes. You know, Michael Berry applied for a White House press pass. They probably think get lost because, you know, you're Michael Berry. But they do give it to the big news organizations on a regular basis, not just walk in there. But what the CNN argues is so long as they have a policy in place, they must enforce it consistently with the Constitution, and that if, in fact, the president did deny the press pass because CNN sucks, that's fake news, that would violate the freedom of the press and the First Amendment.
But let's go through freedom of the press. Explain to a lay audience what that freedom is, because that freedom is not the ability to open his bedroom door at night and ask him questions when he's in his sleep. That freedom is not the ability to barge into meetings that he's hosting. I mean, I think this is ridiculous and almost silly. I really do. You know, I've criticized Trump plenty, but I think he's on very solid ground here.
Well, yeah. I mean, so here's the problem, right? If the White House had just come out and said, we think that Acosta behaved inappropriately by, you know, not relinquishing the microphone, be a stronger case, but instead there were several different iterations of the story. The first story was that that he had, engaged in physical contact with that intern, and the video I don't think shows it, but whatever, we can argue about that. And then they sort of modified it again, saying, well, because he was behaving inappropriately, and then they sort of modified the statement again. So the argument is because they keep changing their tune, they're just scrambling and making stuff up, trying to find something that sticks. And this goes back to the point that it's all bogus, because the real reason that Trump thinks CNN sucks.
So, the president has the authority to think CNN sucks.
He can think CNN sucks, but can he then withdraw a press pass from that group precisely because he thinks CNN sucks?
Why can't he? I mean, what constitutional provision do they have against that? I still don't see a solid legal argument that Acosta gets to come to the White House when the president doesn't want him there.
Well, there was no obligation to give Acosta the pass in the first place. But if they want to take it away from him, they have to do so in a viewpoint-neutral fashion, right? That it's not based on the particular views he espouses. They'd never given to him in the first place, we wouldn't be here. But he's had it for some years and only yanked it after this recent incident. But, I mean, it is worth noting there are 50 other reporters from CNN with hard passes, and they get to keep their passes. Anyone else can come. So this is not just against CNN. I think it's against Acosta in particular, which I think makes the case a little bit stronger for the president. If he had just revoked all press passes from CNN and MSNBC and allowed only Fox News reporters into the building, then I think it'd be a more obvious case of viewpoint discrimination.
I think it's a very dangerous precedent, Professor Josh Blackman. If the courts are now going to tell the president that he cannot choose which media outlets he's going to speak to. No one is preventing Jim Acosta from going on CNN this evening. No one is preventing him from saying whatever he wants. We're making no law abridging his freedom of the press. He just doesn't have the ability to come into the president's house.
Yeah, and to make the point more bluntly, the White House could have just said, well, let's keep Acosta in the building, but never call him ever again. Right? Usually the president decides to outlets are called on. He could just never call them. I know Trump calls an Acosta, he likes to fireworks and it changes the tension, whatever happened the night before.
Of course he does. But what a dangerous thing when the president can no longer control whether or not he allows a person in who will not follow the basic rules of decorum. And I don't think anybody argues that Acosta does that.
Yeah. And look, Michael, if the White House had played this smarter and actually maybe given him a warning.
Professor, hold right there. Professor Josh Blackman is our guest, South Texas College of Law. We'll talk more about this, who the acting attorney general is and should be, birthright citizenship, and more coming up.
Cigars, and a few thoughts from the Czar, the Michael Berry Show. And now, KEX Traffic.
Watch out for a possible stall holding up traffic. I-5 southbound at the Rose Quarter exit, and traffic is jammed up in both directions on the I-5 system between the Fremont Bridge and Macadam Avenue. Inbound Sunset slows on the downhill side of Sylvan. 217 south is knotted up through Beaverton, northbound through Tigard, and an earlier wreck at Southwest Farmington and Tile Flat Road still has both roads closed. K.O. Cunningham, KEX Traffic.
This report is brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men. If you're a man facing divorce or custody issues, you need an attorney you can trust. Goldberg Jones has been protecting the rights of Portland husbands and fathers for nearly 2 decades. Call 1-800-DIVORCE and get your phone questions answered at no charge. And now, K2 Weather, brought to you by Standard TV Appliance.
A gray and damp day. First time we've had one of those in a long time in November here in Portland. We'll see overcast skies, lingering rain showers for the rest of the afternoon. They'll taper off later on this evening. Winds will be light and variable. Overnight lows dropping down into the mid-40s. And after some morning clouds, we'll see partly cloudy skies on Thursday with daytime highs in the mid to upper 50s. From the K2 Storm Tracker Weather Center, I'm Dave Selesky.
Here's what's trending right now on 1190 KEX.
An Oregon man is accused of shooting his estranged wife to death after she filed for divorce. President Trump is celebrating a rare moment of bipartisanship. We'll tell you why now is a good time to be looking for a job in Oregon. A painting celebrating the independence of women in 1929 is selling for over $90 million.
These trending stories and more at 1190kex.com. Brought to you by Terra Firma Foundation Systems.
Hi, I'm Pete with Hydroblocks. Here's a startling statistic for you. As much as 85% of home repair expenses come from water damage. Water drainage problems cause expensive damages, health issues, and soggy yards that can't be used. And moist crawl spaces attract rodents and termites. The problem with old-fashioned drainage like French drains is that they cost a lot.